We are Nigeria. We need your help. We need your help. Mr. Vladimir Putin, we need your help, Mr. Vladimir Putin. Share reports. We need your help, Mr. Vladimir Putin. We are Nigeria. We need your help, Mr. Vladimir Putin. We need your help. We are Nigeria. We are Nigeria. We need your help. We need your help.
Yeah. Hey, it is getting really hot. Yeah, I'm talking about Nigeria, and I'm talking about Kenya, and I'm talking about the possibilities of some of these other countries. But let me tell you something. Well, but first, hey, if you like my videos, please put like, because that counts for me. That helps me out. And also comment. I want to thank you all that are taking our time to comment. I don't answer them real fast, but I'm catching up. Okay, so be patient with me. And also, those that are sharing, please share it, because people need this information. If you, how can you tell when things are being done that you should know about if you don't look and listen? And you have to listen, because there's some important information, and it applies to you, and it applies to me, it applies to wherever we are throughout the Americas, throughout the Caribbean, throughout Europe, wherever, South America, Latin America, Brazil, wherever we are, Germany, Japan, China, Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, wherever we are as a people of color, Papua New Guinea, wherever we are as people of color. Now let me get to it. And please make sure you share. I'd appreciate it. Really, I would appreciate it. And let me know, just let me know what you're thinking. And I'll respond, but if you just let me know what you're thinking, that will help me to give you more information, or if I make a mistake, correct me, and that's okay. That's positively okay. All right, now let's get started. I woke up this morning, and as usual, I started listening to the news. And the news I'm listening to right now is about Nigeria, because I'm very, very curious about Nigeria. That's where my grandson comes from. Well, I'm finding out that Nigeria is not really sovereign, because Nigeria, if you look it up on Copilot or ChatGPT and you ask it a question, is Nigeria neo-colonial country? Neo-colonial country. What does neo-colonial mean? Neo-colonial means a new type of colonialism. And the new type of colonialism means that it looks like you're sovereign, but you're not. And if you don't believe me, you look it up. And so some of the things that have happened in Nigeria, you begin to wonder, why those black folks over there, with all that they have, why are they not able to manage? Why are they poor? What, are they just stupid that they can't make ends meet in their own country, where they need the help of the United States and Europe to help them out because they can't manage? Now just think about it. Think about the appearance of it. Here we have Nigerians throughout the United States that are very intelligent, that are functioning just to the peak of their ability in the United States. And they're so happy to buy a piece of land. They don't have anything on it. It doesn't have any gold. It doesn't have any copper. It doesn't have any silver. It doesn't have anything. And the United States is not their country. Their country is here. They belong here. They belong here. Why would they leave their country to go over to another country if their country, being sovereign, has the ability to reach heights unbelievable, to soar above poverty? Why are they still poor? Why? Have you ever thought about that? It makes us look like black people. It makes us look like we can't really manage or make anything out of what we have. That we just can't make it. We're only corrupt, we're sick, we're uneducated, we're deprived, we need the help. We need others to help us out because we just can't do it by ourselves. Well, the young people are saying that's not the truth. They're rising up and they're saying, looky, we have all this that we have. I want an economy that thrives. I'm tired of being poor. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of not being able to take advantage of all the education, all the education that is available in the world. I'm tired of not having ownership, just small time businesses. When we could have large corporations and things, we could be thriving. We raise our own cotton. We raise our sugar cane. We raise we have thousands of acres of arable land, some of the best land in the world. We have gold, silver, copper, oil, and we're poor. My stomach is empty. That's what they're fighting about. But the president of Nigeria comes out and says the reason why they're doing this is because of political anarchy. They're coming out and saying they're hungry because of anarchy. And now, since someone has put up a red, white, and blue flag, I guess it's in the order of a Russian flag. It don't say Russian, but it's assumed that it's a Russian flag, that it's presumed that it's a Russian flag that some tailor made in the northern part of Nigeria. So now they're saying the people are raised up because the Russians are doing it. They're inspiring them to do it. Did they ever think that we were knocking on the Russians' front door because we can't get what we need from our own government? Because why? Because they're not sovereign, they're in debt, and they're subject to Europe and the United States. They're handlers, and our president is their puppet. So now, since they came up with that Russian thing, then they came up with another thing that the young people are saying, we want military leadership. We don't want leadership under this democracy. And they got every right to say it because it shows on record that when Nigeria was under military leadership, financially they did better. And you can look that up. They had less corruption. They had less corruption. Their businesses were owned by Nigerians. They weren't owned by a private enterprise inside of Nigeria that controlled their economy. They say the GDP of these African countries are growing, but it has no effect. The GDP growth has no effect on their economy. Tell me a country that has a growing GDP that people are impoverished in the country. You know something's wrong. Well, let me get back to it. I mean, when I get so excited. So now they came up with anarchy. And now they're coming up with the fact that they want military rule, that perhaps Niger, the country next door to them, is inspiring them to be military rule. They want military rule. That's what these young people, they say they're saying. They always bring up these things like they're really saying it and it really means something. You don't know who's bringing it up. But I'm so familiar with our country dropping these little tidbits. You remember like the one, Iraq, war, mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, and we went busting into Iraq. You remember Kuwait? You remember the wars that we've been into on some kind of rumor? You remember we went in Afghanistan for over 20 years and killed a bunch of people and didn't get a damn thing out of it. What did we manage? We spent a lot of money on wars for who? For corporations. The United States is not even sovereign. We think we are, But we've been guided like some little puppy dogs by the nose, fighting in Vietnam for what? We're trying to attack Venezuela for what? Why is there some problem with you and the people of Venezuela, American people? What have the Venezuelan people done to you? And why should you send soldiers, or why should you put up with what's being put up? Because the American government, our government, wants oil. Venezuela has oil. That's what it is. Corporations are at war with each other. Well, let me get back to what I'm saying. Now, they bring up Russia and they bring up military. They bring up those two things because they're mad with Niger, and they couldn't get the people of the West and ECOWAS to agree to go in and attack Niger. So they're thinking up other things to do, the little conniving snakes. So now what they're doing is they're saying that Niger wants to come in and make what happened in Niger into Nigeria. That's not even in that man's thought. But they want to make it look like that. And that the Russians are coming on along with them, and they're doing it. So then, of course, you know, Nigeria is supposed to be a protected asset of the United States. The United States has interest. You know, there's a difference between having interest in a country, and I don't mean political interest, I mean financial interest in the country. And if things seem to get too outrageous, they'll make it look like the Russians are coming into Nigeria, so they'll have a reason to send troops into Nigeria or to interfere. Because you Americans don't want any more wars, and you're not saying yes to anything. So they need to dig something up. And then the other end of this just so happened within the last month of July, last month, some Ukrainian soldiers start showing up in Mali, the other country that is being ruled militarily and that is growing and defending its borders. Those Ukrainian soldiers have joined the people, the terrorist groups outside of Mali that have been fighting at the border of Mali. They've been fighting the Russians, they say, at the border of Mali. Because they say the Russian group are there. The Russian soldiers, some of the Russian soldiers of fortune or whatever they call them, are there. Mali invited for their protection. Those soldiers were invited. They did not invite Ukraine. Why should they go to a country? They have 41 million people and they're at war, and they say, come over and help me. Come over here to Africa to help me, you poor Ukrainian. We need your help. In fact, when you bring some of those millions and billions of dollars worth of weapons that they gave you in Ukraine to fight the Russians, bring them over here. How did they bring them over here? How do they get them? How do they get the soldiers transported and the weapons? Why? Those are weapons we paid for, that they're supposed to be protecting themselves from the Russians attacking and coming in and trying to take them over. Sneaky. Sneaky. Next thing you know, we'll be involved. Watch out for it. And we're fighting for corruption. You can tell me that your son or your daughter died protecting their country, and we're telling them, thank you for your service. They're not giving us service. They're being of service to these corporations. The corporations are running our government, and we just act like we don't want to care and don't know what's going on. We act like we don't know what's going on. They're doing us like a ping pong ball. Just bouncing us all over the table. And they're getting ready to do it again. American. You don't want your son or daughter fighting and dying over here in Africa. Why would they defend Africa when they enslaved Africa, they mistreat Africa, they hang Africa, they put Africa in prison, they rape Africa, they destroy Africa, they dehumanize Africa, and when they have UN meetings, they don't even meet with the Africans. I don't even know why. I have no idea why we think these people are going to have a moment where they're off of mistreating, abusing, and terrorizing us as a people. And their plans are good plans. The reason why the Russians have been called is to protect. The United States would not even sell Africa the weapons that they need to defend themselves. They wouldn't do it. They said, we're going to send the soldiers over France. France is full of hell. It's ruined Jamaica. It's ruined not Jamaica, but Haiti. Look at what it's done. Can we black people wake the hell up? I can't understand how come we don't wake up. Why is it that we're going to allow these people again to destroy us? Why is it that we're some of the richest people on the continent and we're the poorest in the world? When are we going to stand up and say, I'm not taking it anymore? Hell no, I'm not taking it anymore. You let me know. You're down on your knees thinking that long prayers and a lot of petitions and calling on the powers of heaven is going to get you out of this mess. Well, it hasn't, and it hasn't yet. But I'm going to tell you something. If you get off of your knees, stand up and face it and realize that we got to fight back. And I don't mean with guns. I mean with what we think and do and how we train our children and how we devour each other. If we quit devouring each other, that would be a great weapon. If we quit devouring each other, if we stop turning our head and not realizing what's going on in the Congo, if we do that, why Sudan, the Congo, all these people, why are they fighting each other? For what reason? How are they being inspired or stirring up to fight each other? There's a reason. There's an instigator in town. There's an instigator in town. And the instigator is the West. It's not China. It's not Russia. It's the West. It's not Vietnam. It's the West. It's not even little old tiny Ukraine. That's that little pip on a stick. It's the West. Ukrainian soldiers on the border of Mali waving flags to let them know we're from the Ukraine and we're down here to kick you know what and killing African people, killing them. Did you know that? Do you know what's going on? The poverty is so high here, the young men are selling their bodies to old women that are coming down here to rape these young men and giving them money so they can live because that's the only job they can get. And then the old European men coming over here pursuing young girls. They don't want to tell you that. They call all this other rape. No, they come off the plane. They come on the plane and they rape the young girls. They got on suits. They come over on plane loads of them. throughout Kenya, throughout Nigeria, throughout Sudan, throughout here, throughout that. They call it sexual tourism. Because they're hungry. The people need a way to make an income so they can live. And we turn our head and go to church on Sunday and sing hallelujah, I shall overcome. And our children are dying. And they're asking us for help. And they're singing it in their songs like hopelessness. Have you listened to some of those hip hop songs? Or those rap songs? They're hurt. They're mad. They're striking out. They're saying things. They don't even care for each other. A man doesn't care for a woman doesn't care for a man. They have no care for each other. They'll hit each other, stomp each other, lie, curse, do everything. And women are just so now until they do an open display of sexuality that never, ever, ever should be done. Because she doesn't think enough of herself. So she exposes what she shouldn't expose. And he does what he shouldn't do. Do you ever think you come to a day when a man, the most precious thing to him is his wife, and he don't mind sharing her for some money? Or selling their daughter or son. Wake up. African people, Jamaican people, American black people, Negroes, Negritos, Negros, Negras, whatever. But black people all over the world. In India, they have some Africans that have been in India. They were in India before the Indians came to India, I believe. They've been in India for ages and ages and ages. They're treated like low-class citizens. They're not even considered. They call them untouchables. Everywhere we go. Fiji Islands, where you want to go, take me there and show me where the black man is on top. Take me there. But everywhere you go, there's wealth. And that wealth is wanted by these people that have been running the operation for the last 600 years or so and getting to this point of degradation. And then whenever we do something to accomplish something, they try to make it seem like we're bad people. We shouldn't do it. How you heard a military rule. We want democracy. We don't want this military rule. We don't want the military to rule us. We want democracy. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you have military, they're not selling everything you got. Under this democracy, we just sold here the airport in Kenya, and then something about the port here in Tanzania. Sold it. I sure hope that you pass this video on because it's important. It's just not something that it's something for you children to think about, you young people. And I say children, you're an adult. If you're having babies right now, if you don't do something and we don't do something, nothing's going to change. They're trying to put us back into slavery the slickest way they can. We cannot trust them. I'm not talking about your next door neighbor who's white. I'm not talking about your friend who's white. I'm talking about the corporations, the system in the United States of America and throughout Europe, because the United States is really Europe. Canada is really Europe. European thought. This is what, and Europeans don't mind killing each other. Their history of killing and killing and killing and killing, the wars that they had, they were killing each other, so they don't mind killing you to take over, to make you a slave. And you talking about what ethnicity, that whether you're a Hausa or a Yoruba, or whether you're a Chaga, or whether you're a Pari, or whatever your tribe is. If you look, you're black. And I don't care what tribe you're in, we're all in the same boat. Me that don't even have a tribe, that has been stolen from me. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. And you can just start by not acting like it's not happening. And when you pray, if you truly believe your prayers can do something, if you truly believe they can do something, stop praying for mama, daddy, your neighbor. Pray for your sisters and brothers. Pray for the situation that we're in. Pray that the enemy gets his hand off our neck. Pray to be delivered from all these evils that have penetrated this world. And you need to start talking to the Most High and stop begging. You let him know that you put me down here. I didn't ask it. And you as Father are supposed to be protecting and taking care of me. Why am I in this mess? And those others seem to be living a life, but they got their knee on my neck. Why? Why? We need to get out of this. We need to get out of this. And we need to apply what we say we believe and make it work. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Blacks at Radio, blacksatradio.com on Saturdays. I'm there at 8 in the morning, but let me tell you something. The radio station has a bunch of really good programs on it. Look it up, blacksatradio.com. Hey, talk to you later. Love you.
Hey, this is Jamila, and you're watching Africa Speak.